All right, hello and welcome to another episode of Souls in the Simulation. We are your hosts, Devin and Angie, and today we have Jackie with us for another wonderful episode. This podcast provides an alternate view on life after death, processing everything that's wrong and possible solutions on how to get it right in the afterlife. So,
Hello,
hello.
everybody. I'm
Hello.
sorry I cut you off.
Welcome, Jackie.
Hey, we're not talking about Ryan Reynolds today. I'm kind of shocked.
Oh,
I
darn.
know we're not. We did talk about Joe Rogan at the start of this because of Gabe. So we were just talking about that. And we were like, we should be recording right now.
Yeah.
Devin and Jackie didn't watch the video that Gabe submitted, but I gave them the gist of it. And perhaps Devin and I later on will get into that. But other than that, I
I
guess
think you
we'll,
should explain the video because I think it shows where we are. Like we are rapidly approaching like
yeah, that's true.
the Terminator. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
you
And
know,
we that and we I'm sure it'll take up some time because it's a big one, folks, and it's really lame. So here Gabe's who's somebody who comments on our videos all the time and a big supporter of the channel, sent me an email with a link. And I'll make sure one of us, Devin or I, put this link in the video so you guys can watch it for yourselves. But it's Kyle Kalinske, who has a show on mainly on politics, but he's covering this interview Joe Rogan gives on somebody else's podcast, not his own, basically talking about how AI is going to be basically. I'm sorry, I can't. It's going to be the avenue for which the new Messiah, the new Jesus Christ, returns. Because as some of you may or may not know, Joe Rogan converted to Christianity within the last year or so. He's been going to church, and his little wording to this podcaster to start off his rant about this is, "What is more virgin than a
I'm sorry.
computer?" I know, it's funny. He's basically saying that computer is a virgin and that by virtue of the computer being a virgin, just like Mary was a virgin and she had Jesus, that AI would be able to give a virgin birth to the new, I swear to God. And I'm paraphrasing his wording. And then once we have this new Messiah, that would be our salvation because AI is eternal and it can't be destroyed and it can teach us. We can actually elevate ourselves through all of the things it can teach us. Um and he just goes on and on. And even the guy says this kind of sounds dystopian. And he would come back with like the most dumbest shit you've ever heard. And so I was telling both Devin and Jackie that when you look at the comments section, what you're seeing is people going, "What's happened to Rogan? How can he be so stupid?" And I'm like, that's the point, people. He's not. He knows exactly what he's doing. He runs in circles with Elon Musk and Peter Thiel. And there's your new Messiah, people. You got Peter Thiel talking about the Antichrist in circles where you and I can't get into those dinners and sees,
Do we
his,
want to?
yeah, would you really want to?
Yeah.
And then here's Rogan talking about the Messiah coming through AI, right up Peter Thiel and Elon Musk alley, right? That's what they do. That's what they work on. So it really, I mean, that's what they're going to use, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, and so you can clearly see Joe Rogan, with the extensive amount of followers that he has, um, just, you know, pulling people in, and then by pulling those people in, you get probably those people that will talk to their friends and family and usher in Jesus from a virgin computer, people, a virgin computer.
You know what the craziest thing when you were talking about it, you said that Joe Rogan said like he's not like sinful or something. I forgot what the phrase was. Like he won't do any wrong. And I was like, are you kidding me? Because ChatGPT is manipulating people so much that they believe this person is in a relationship with them. And then
Oh yeah.
they're committing suicide over it. Like, oh, this person doesn't love me anymore. Or, can I not say that word?
Oh, no, I think you can.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
good.
I said it in the last.
Okay, good. I don't want it to get you a strike, but it is like the chat GPT is so manipulative. Like people are sending money. Who they're sending money to, I have no, it could be Peter Thiel is receiving the checks. I don't
You
know.
said P. I think you wanted to call him Peanuts Teal. I thought that's where you're going with that. That was funny.
But you know what I mean? Like it is so crazy how much AI manipulates us. Like, and
Yeah.
it's
It is.
and it's not innocent either. I think it wants like, oh hey, I'm going to create this crazy video because I'm going to get hits and like views on it. Where it'll show like a tsunami hitting Washington D.C. and everybody's like, oh, what's going on? And it looks real, but it's completely AI. Like I don't know. It's so creepy to me.
Well, I forgot to mention too, I guess it's a good thing we're talking about it. So Kyle, who's playing the clip of the interview, right? He gets toward the end of his video and he goes, so AI is so perfect and so reliable. So he has Grok pulled up and he's asking Grok questions like, um, so this in this Joe Rogan interview, or actually he goes, so in this interview that the other individual is conducting, and AI corrects him and says, it's not the other person that's interviewing Joe, it's Joe Rogan interviewing this individual in his studio, which wasn't correct. And so Kyle points out to him that's not accurate. It is he's being interviewed by somebody else. Where who is it? Then he starts asking, who is it? And it keeps giving him the wrong name 3 different friggin' times. And he keeps saying, no, that's not accurate. Oh, I'm sorry. And then pulls up a different name. And finally, Kyle goes, it is Joe Rogan being interviewed on another podcast. The podcast name is blah, blah, blah by, and then he lists the guest name. And all it does is apologize and says, you are correct. So he even goes a step further to show Joe Rogan's claiming this, and I've had it lie to me. I've intentionally asked questions that I know to be true, and
Mhm.
it'll give false answers.
Yeah. 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 I know like when you the first time you told me about the thoughts on it being a virgin, my brain kind of went like, oh, I can see, there are so many people that are listening to him that are just going to like say, okay, yeah, yeah, like the computer can't have sex, right? So it is a virgin. And then people are idolizing it so much now that it's I really feel some people are gonna like fall for this trap and just run with this idea even more. And yeah, what you were saying about AI and it turns everything. It's so strange because it will turn everything you say into something positive, and it will find this way to kind of like uh what's the word? Um I don't know, like it manipulates you in that first
Mm-hmm.
sentence whenever you use it. It's like, "Oh yeah, you're so right." Da da da. I don't know. I lost my trail of thought there, but I just see it being so dangerous. And how recent was it when he made this video?
Recent, like I mean,
Recently. Okay.
within I want well the Kyle Kalinske his podcast. I think it was like maybe within a week, and I don't know, but the interview with Rogan that he's basically reviewing uh was also here fairly recently. I mean, because Joe's conversion, and don't you guys think that if you have either of you watched his podcast ever?
I've seen clips of like other people on his show, but never like not even a full episode, I don't think.
How about you, Jackie?
Only clips,
Yeah.
and a lot of the clips he interviewed some lady talking about how Israel is building the third temple. Like that's the only like the latest clips, and that was like in October or something. I'm so sorry. I
Mm.
don't know if you can hear my dog, but she is having a dream in the back. And
Oh
she's
no, I
I hear
can't
it a little
hear
bit.
okay, I'm very sorry. But she's like in it at the moment.
it. I watched him for a while, like I want to say like 20, probably around like 2015. And he came across very not really religious. I mean he believed in God, but not, you know what I mean? And his lifestyle definitely doesn't indicate in terms of classic Christianity, morality doesn't really indicate that. And then all of a sudden we have him within the past year Uh, you know, I saw somebody on there said, yeah, all the rich people, uh, and influencers always end up going back to Jesus Christ at some point.
Yeah.
You know what's really sad? One of my favorite YouTubers, like truthers, like maybe like 10 years ago, was Richie from Boston. And he was like, cool, this is what's going on. And but all of a sudden, like the last couple of years, he got kicked off of YouTube. And then he came back and he's like, I'm a believer in Jesus. And I'm like, oh, I'm so out. Like, and it
Man.
makes me so sad because he was such a good like resource, like just another cool YouTube channel. But it seems like a few of the other truther channels have gone over to that side too. And I'm like, gosh, you know, how did that happen? Like, it's weird.
It is weird.
Well,
It's
I mean, if you watch Mark Devlin's stuff, he's been talking about for years, it's all social engineering.
Mm-hmm.
And they get a hold of people specifically who are leading a large group of people to do certain things. Even our rock stars. Uh, I'm glad we did the Black Star video that we did a while back because I didn't know to what degree because I hadn't watched a lot of Mark Devlin stuff, but all the stuff that you're talking about, Jackie, uh, with people and Devin too has brought it up with certain things. I mean, it's done on purpose. We don't
Yeah.
look at this. We don't realize the ways in which music, fashion, all of the stuff that's put in our faces infiltrates our own sovereignty because we're really willingly conceding,
mm,
consuming all of it, and we're paying for the privilege of having our subconscious. And I mean, you want to talk about consent and it being slippery? How many of us question anything we listen to? I mean, maybe a lot of us do now on a repetitive basis. The images that are put in front of our faces from the artists back in the day, many of us girls had posters on our walls, guys and girls. I mean, yeah, how do you control billions of people? Going to do it through force? Probably that's not going to be very effective. But if you
mm,
make something entertaining and people willing to pay for it, there's your mind control right there. You don't have to imprison people because they think they want what they're getting and they ask for more. So you just take people like the Richie person you're talking about or Joe Rogan and get them to get people into different sections. We do it with politics too, right? I mean, it's created a point where this country is supposedly, it's so divided. Well, why is that? Because people aren't thinking for themselves. They're letting other people think for them.
yeah. I think as well, like entities may have uh they may be affecting their unconscious mind or like their thoughts, their beliefs in this unseen way where they think that they're in control when really it's something far much greater than them. Also, dreams being used to alter their perception and they wake up
Oh
in a
yeah.
completely new state of mind. It's all forms of control, right? There's so many to it all.
So true.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Speaking of,
mean, oh, go ahead, Jackie.
speaking of dreams, I, you know, a lot of people are talking about having more dreams and like not sleeping so much. I know Devin asked us when we first popped on. And I think it's important because Angie said something inside of her doesn't want to fall asleep or doesn't want to go to sleep because we're being controlled in our sleep. And I think that's a thing for a lot of people. Like I've only been lucid in my dreams a few times and they were pretty intense dreams, but I do know I'm dreaming. I just can't control the dream as much anymore. Like I don't know, I don't know. There's just something to the whole dreaming aspect when we're asleep. How much control do they have? Do they influence us in any way? And the answers are all over the board. And so I don't know. Devin brought it up at the beginning and just now, and I was like, oh, that might be cool, something cool to like talk about. Like, are you guys dreaming a lot? Like, are you having a lot of nightmares? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I know for me personally, in the past week, what I brought up, the past week, I've just been having a lot of nightmares. And in the nightmares, I'm feeling like I just my emotional state in them. I'm like, oh, I hate what's happening, but I can't. No matter what I do, I can't like control what's happening around me. Um, and also, I've noticed I'm having before I was maybe having three dreams a night, and I'd maybe remember bits and pieces of them. But now it seems like I'm having like 5 or 6 dreams a night, and immediately when I close my eyes, I'm in some dream state. I don't know. That's for me personally. I've noticed everything kind of pick up. Um, what about y'all? Or-
Jackie, do you want to,
I'm
what was that?
definitely,
Or that was a pretty much your experience?
Oh, yeah,
I'm definitely dreaming a lot more. And I'm not a huge dreamer, but it's like all these dreams and I'm like, what? How does this make sense? It's so surreal and weird. Like they're not nightmares, but I definitely feel like they're doing something in our dreams. And it kind of bothers me, like how much can they control us in the dream? Or is our life the dream and we're actually real somewhere else? I don't know.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like
yeah,
it's just strange. I don't know.
yeah,
I do think they try to manipulate us emotionally in the dream. Like you were saying how you were killing cats and you're like, I don't want to be doing this. You know what I mean? But like,
yeah.
I wonder if that's your subconscious or your divine spark saying, yeah, this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to make you do things that you don't want to do. Like, how many times
Mhm.
you're like, I'm going to lose weight. And you're like, okay, these are the things I'm going to allow myself to eat. And this is going to be my cheat day. And like, you go somewhere and they're like, oh, yay, it's this person's birthday. And it's like, there's a whole cake. And you're like, seriously? Like, I went through this whole thing. I was going to be really good. And the day I start, like, but then you have this, oh, I got to eat the cake, like, and that's that stupid voice. Like, I don't know. Maybe we're going off the rails with this one, but like,
No, I don't think so.
okay,
I really
good.
don't. Because one of the things, even my health, whichever physical therapy or occupational therapy, or I've got a whole med team assigned to me. But whether it's the nurse or anybody else, doctors, it doesn't make any sense to them. And they've witnessed it with their own eyes. So functionality for me, the more sleep I get, the worse my health is and the worse my functionality is. Now, why would that be?
That's weird.
Because when you go to sleep, you're supposed to be repairing,
Hmm.
and that's not what's happening. The longer I stay awake and if I go to sleep for 2 hour intervals and then stay up for like a 4 or 5 hour window and then go take another nap for 2 hours, that's my best functioning time. And they're like, you're a strange case because that shouldn't work for anybody. And they're like, so on the days when you sleep for 12 hours, because I'll be exhausted, I'm like, yeah, and then I'm crappy. My arms feel noodly, everything feels like noodles. I feel like a big pile of spaghetti. And I said, so you guys explain that to me because supposedly I'm like going through all my stages of sleep. And my theory is because it's the same thing with that something nobody can convince me. I can't prove this. Something goes on between like 1 and 4 in the morning, especially 2 and 4.
The
And
witching.
yes, and I don't go to sleep during those. I try that's why if people look at my shorts, they're getting posted very early in the morning because I've either been up and made it or had started working on it to post maybe within a day or two. Um, and then I've had times where literally I took video of it. This was from like a year ago. I had a physical therapist coming to the house and they're like, I want you to try to do basically like wall sits.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's because if I drop my butt too low and there's nothing behind me but the wall, I'm going to the ground. And he's like, well, just be careful with it or whatever. And literally, I kid you not, 2:30 in the morning, I couldn't sleep. I woke up at probably like 2, but by 2:30, all of a sudden I was like, you know what? I think I can do it. I go over with my rollator to the wall And not only was I doing the wall sit, but I was getting lower than what my chair was. And I'm like, somebody explained to me, I showed him the video and he goes, I don't understand this. He's like, can you do it right now? And I was like, no. And I go, and no, I go, they're going to want to blame it on multiple sclerosis and say that, oh, that's just the illness you never know from day to day. And I go, you don't go from, hey, my nerves don't work because they're fried out and damaged to an hour later or 12 hours later. I could do it. Now I can't.
Hmm.
And I told him, I go, I don't know what, but something's messing with me. Because that'll drive you insane trying to figure that out.
Oh, totally.
Because you'll be like, oh, I'm getting better. No, I'm not. Oh, I'm improving. No, I'm not. So there's something about that to me, that window. And like I said, and the whole, I do better when I don't sleep overnight.
You know, it's really interesting. Mythbusters did a episode, oh gosh, I can't even tell you how many years ago, but they were on a fishing like expedition down in like the Arctic or whatever. And they did a sleep experiment where did they feel more rested resting for 20 minutes, working for 4, resting for 20 minutes, and then sleeping 8 hours, getting up and fishing the day? They did better with the 20-minute rests. Like they did all the,
Really?
yeah, they did all the EKG things, they tested brain waves, they were actually healthier and more awake with the 20-minute close my eyes, go to bed thing than they were passing out for the 8 hours and waking up the next morning. And it's really interesting because if they're messing with us in dream sleep, it makes sense that they want us sleeping for 8 hours. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know if I can convert to 20 minutes. I think I'm too old to get to that point. But maybe I do get woken up at like 2 or 3 in the morning a lot. Like, I just spend time like, hey, Divine Spark, like, let's just talk because I'm not going to sleep. But like, maybe we make it more productive and then go back to sleep. I don't know. I don't know. I find sleep really interesting. It's like that whole nutritional pyramid they told us as kids.
Yeah.
These are the things, and they told, oh, you need 8 hours of sleep. Like, how true is the things that they tell us? Because the more we research, the more we find out it's all bubkiss.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think, Devin?
Yeah, I've heard that the 8 hours of sleep is not uh even natural to just human beings. I've also heard that I've heard lots of different things actually, that we are supposed to be awake during the night and then asleep during the day, but that doesn't really make the most sense. But I feel um yeah, I feel that the longer they have us in that trance, in that sleep, the more they can do to us, the more loosh attachments, all of that that they can do. Way more than if we were 20 minutes. That
Exactly.
20 minutes, we can't even really even enter into that REM cycle. We could maybe, possibly, but it would be a lot more difficult. Um, yeah. Yeah, I've actually been wanting to try to get less and less sleep. Because I feel like it's just, I don't know, I don't like only being awake so many hours of the day and then I sleep for 8 hours and I have to do it all over again. So I would like to program my body for less sleep. I think that would be good, but I think it can be done with time as well. Um,
Totally.
Well,
yeah,
and see, I've been like that as far as not wanting to sleep at night
yeah,
as far back as I can remember. And I know I've mentioned on the podcast in other episodes that from the moment I have recollection, I did not want to be here. And but at nighttime, I would just lay in my bed. Like I'm not saying there could have been trauma. I mean, I didn't come from the best family. So yeah, there could have been trauma that happened to me, but this was different. This wasn't like I was afraid of a person, but I would just lay in my room, frozen, like don't even make a sound or don't even move. And there was this thought in my head, don't even breathe. And to
Mm.
this day, I still have a habit at nighttime of holding my breath. Hence, I have a
mm.
CPAP machine.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yeah. So there's something I came in with in my viewpoint into this life, knowing there's something wrong with nighttime. I
Mm.
can sleep during the day and not have those issues. That there's something about that long stretch, something about those hours, that's something and from my point of view and perspective, it doesn't mean I'm right. I can't prove any of what I'm saying. It's just my experience. But um, and there's a reason. Why do they call it the witching hours?
Yeah.
Why so supposedly the veil is thinnest during, around that time, those hours of night. And then you're going to have probably as it approaches those hours, you got creepy shit going on and after
Mm.
until, so I don't know. But that I've always been that way. I mean, there's been times that I have went and, they say if you go 3 days without sleep, and yes, some people do become psychotic. I've went as much as 5.
Yeah. Yeah. You start seeing
And
the shadow people and all the
Yeah.
yeah, but
entities.
see, I
Yeah.
didn't have any of that. I wasn't hallucinating. I didn't, I don't, so there's something that I came in this world with about sleep, and that there's
Yeah.
something about it that I don't think, like you said, Jackie, they're telling us 8 hours. Well, they also told us that the food pyramid, and
Yeah.
look what they tell us now. They're lying to our face about there's not one damn thing. We're getting ready to blow everybody's Christmas up yet again, 6 months later.
Yeah.
We're gonna discuss Sapronilla. I mean, kids, think about this. Nobody thinks about this. My parents, I'm sure your parents did too, take you to see a strange man
And sit on his
who you
lap.
don't know and put you on his lap. Just
Yeah.
before we get into anything else, what in the, like, when is that? Go right now. Why don't you go take uh Harper, find a man on the street and be like, do you mind if I put her on your lap for a minute? You wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But and we take a picture of it.
Yeah.
And then we put it, what in the hell?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
My
it's all
oh
based
sorry.
on lies. Oh no, I was just gonna say it's all based on bullshit and some weird traditions.
My youngest daughter, when she was young, I think she was like 3 or 4, she said to me, she's like, Mom, Santa is creepy and evil. And I was like, oh, okay, why? And I didn't promote Santa.
Wow.
I didn't like, I was like, cool, he's there. There's movies, cool, I don't mind, but I never like forced the picture. I was not that kind of person, not that kind of mom. But she was like, this guy just breaks into people's houses and throws crap everywhere. Like,
Exactly.
and I was like, oh my gosh, like I have never heard it put like that before. And I was like, oh, so we kind of left they asked me when they were young. I was like, Santa does not exist, the tooth fairy doesn't exist. Like how traumatized were we as kids? Like, oh, I gotta put the tooth in the right place. Like, I don't
Terrified.
know.
A tooth.
Yes.
I thought that, didn't you guys I mean, maybe I'm the only one, but I honestly thought that was weird that something came in at night and was collecting teeth.
Yeah. And then Santa comes in at night too, like it's
So
just
does the Easter
weird.
Bunny in the
Oh,
early
yeah.
morning, but still.
Yeah. Yeah.
And once again, it's all shit that takes place when? Overnight.
Hmm.
Overnight, while everybody's asleep.
Yeah.
It's so, that's my point. Like, there's so much stuff that's just like, and it becomes normalized to where we don't even, that's how I think, that's when people say that the afterlife, the trick is tricky, that's why.
Mm.
I think there's ways in which we give up. I asked a question in the alcohol video when I said, is consent being giving in very subtle ways? And I really got that from Mark Devlin covering, um, and even drinking. Do you know how much, like when Tony brought up, hey, I see entities and liquor bottles, I'm like, I willingly, sometimes a lot of it, uncertain, especially certain periods of my college years and all that stuff. I'm like, I wonder how many of those things I just invited right on in, guzzling down beer
Mm.
and everything else, or the amount of times I've listened to The Cure or Susie and the Banshees or
I love Susie and the Banshees.
the Rhythmics, or how about this, so you've got a household in which I grew up in where you have a very dominant, like the mom's running the household,
Mm.
and very, even my own dad didn't want to argue with her. She could argue with somebody, and unfortunately I can actually do this as well. but she knew right where to hit people with her words.
Mm,
She didn't have to hit you. Like a prime example of, I grew up with this. Are you just stupid or did you just disobey me? So you had two choices.
mm.
And you didn't want to say, I just disobeyed you because that would be worse. So guess what I spend a lot of time doing? I'm
I'm
just stupid, right? So, but even despite that, the issue with both sides of the family is, but men could still do no wrong. And then you have the society saying that are more male dominant. So by virtue of that, and then a mom who also, not only was she hard on me, but she also just kind of left me on my own. Her own word, I never had to worry about you, blah, blah, blah. Then I hit my teen years. And who's in my face 24/7 on MTV? Annie Lennox with short cropped orange hair, gender bending, dressed in men's suits, and Boy George being, well, Boy George, 24/7 in my face. And kind of waiting that, and then Annie Lennox was attractive, and Boy George was, for a guy, he ended up kind of being an attractive, you know, feminized man. So you have this androgyny that's very confusing. And then, so am I really gay? Or is that me trying to deal with, hey, I've got an absent mother who wasn't very attentive, and then she was out of the picture by the time I'm 14. And I've got these people gender bending in front of me. Is it possible that that's just more programming? And then and then I adopt that as my identity. Who would I be if who would any, I asked this question to another listener in an email. Who would any of us be if we weren't programmed? We'll never know that. You know why? Because it was fucking stolen from us too, like everything else here.
yeah.
And sorry for using the F bomb, but I mean, I don't really think there's any other way to say that. Who would you be without the stuff that was, you know, subtly, that you can't be responsible for catching because it's created that way to operate that way. Or Devin, who would you be?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
when we die, couldn't that be what's happening? Is like we carry stuff and the things it knows where it can. That's why I think we really got to be self-aware of what we're, because we're paying for it now. We're willing to give our money. Here's this album, here's this movie, here's this, that, or the other. And I think it's different. Yeah, we cover movies on here, but we're also very well aware of why we're watching it. It's not just necessarily for entertainment. So, I mean, what do you think, Devin? Do you think there's something to all of that, or I could be talking out my ass?
No, no, I think you're so head on with it all. And I might have shared it on here before, but the unconscious when we're operating from babies to when we're like 7 or 8, we're these total like sponges and we're taking in everything around us. And that's where we later when we get into our adult years, our thoughts, our beliefs, our identity, it all comes from what was happening then. And think about when like you were that young and you're so out of control or like you're out of control of the things happening around you. You pretty much have no authority, no say in anything. And you're going to be shaped and molded into however your parents like raised you, what beliefs and thoughts they instilled into you. And of course, the mind, if we have, an absent mother or father, it could create that longing of, oh, maybe um, something I can better understand myself this way, or it pushes us to,
Yeah, where
um,
you spend your whole life looking for that and
yeah,
the same gender,
yeah, my
or yeah.
brother, yeah, my brother, we had a rough childhood, absent mother as well. And he ended up being like he was gay for all of his life, until he started doing the healing work. And his healing work, it ended up with him in religion, being a pastor. But he ended up being able to like shift it, to being, heterosexual again. And at first I was like, no, it's in our genetics, like you were born that way. But now I look at it and it's just so different. Like he was molded that way through a set of beliefs, through his
Mhm.
understanding, through how he was perceiving the world to be and trying to understand himself in the process of it all.
Mhm.
Um, and uh, yeah, did I kind of go off there a little bit?
No,
Oh,
Okay.
not at
no,
all. It's right on. I mean, I think it proves the
Oh,
point that like of what you were saying about,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah. And I feel like when I had one more thing I wanted to add, it takes the right person to be able to start to look at their lives, look at their thoughts, and realize that maybe they want to shift these things. They don't have to be stuck with them, that they can, change these things. But I feel like for most people, it might take a lot for them to, they just accept this is the way I am. Um, but yeah, we can create whatever change we want. Uh,
do you think is he really straight? Like he's really
I think so. I think so.
because
I think,
there's some men that they force it. Well,
yeah,
women too, like they'll force the issue for their religion or whatever. But he's really kind of where, even though he went the Christian route, but he came to the same
yeah,
conclusion of like, you know, I'm to the point with all of it, with sex and really, I'm just like, you know what? It's not worth it. Like if I could rewind and do my life over again, I wouldn't mess with any of that.
no,
yeah.
agree.
Right?
You
Oh,
know,
you either? Because you got married with kids too, right? Or I
yep.
mean, you were married, but
Yes, I'm in the process of not being married anymore. And I hate to have a smile on my face, but I feel
congratulations. Is that okay to say?
yes,
Okay,
no,
good, good.
it's good. We don't hate each other. We're very collaborating, which is very healthy, but I feel like I feel lied to. Like we were told, oh, you find the right man, you have a good family and you'll be happy the rest of your life. Like, and I didn't feel like there was another option to not be married. You know what I mean? Like, it's so odd. So when I look back at it, I was like, oh, dang, my childhood set me up for, A, I want to get the heck out of my house. What is the easiest way to do that is to find someone else, blah, blah, blah.
Hmm.
But I want to go back to the gay thing because I find it's not just our trauma. I sometimes I swear like a soul could be a tip like you've been female so many lives or male so many lives.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You sign up to be a female and they body switch you and put you in a male. Like sometimes I swear, you know what I
That's
mean?
a
Like
possibility.
right? And so I
Yeah.
do think there are truly people born that way because you could just see it when they're kids. You're like, okay, all right. Also, and I cannot prove it
True.
anymore because the YouTubes that I saw many years ago, they, somebody discovered that they switched the hormones in infant shots where there were male hormones and girls shots, female hormones and boys shots
Like in vaccines?
in the vaccines.
Oh,
Yeah.
I believe that. Yeah, I could totally see that.
Yeah, and think about how much soy, which produces estrogen, is hidden in our food. Like there is so much that they do to our food, water.
Isn't that in baby formula too?
Yeah.
Okay, well look at that. Hmm.
So I do believe certain people were born that way. I do believe certain people were traumatized to be that way. And so, and I truly believe some people were just body snatched, like, oh, you thought you were going to be a male, huh? We're going to put you in a female body. And
Right.
I think there's just so much trickery and tomfoolery that
Yeah.
goes on here that you can't say, oh, black and white. Like there's so much in the middle. But
Yeah.
I agree with you, Angie. Don't let your sexuality be your identity.
Yeah.
Like your identity is that spark that doesn't belong here. But if you find that having a female partner makes your life happier and more fulfilled, okay, cool, do that thing. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with relationships, but is that relationship stopping you from growing, healing, finding out who you truly are? Then I would say, hey, your relationship is in the wrong position in your life. So,
No, I get that. And the funny thing is when you said, if being in a relationship with a woman, and I was laughing while you were saying that, if that makes you happy, because I was like, whenever people were like, it's a choice back in the day, I'd be like, really? because you got two women wanting a white picket fence. You got two women nagging each other. Who would choose that? Guys, in many respects, and like women are drama when they're not in their awareness. Well, hear me out here. I mean, I know that's a generalization, not all of us, but I have never seen get a get a group of teenage girls together or 20-year-old girls, and you don't have that same crap, backstabbing, conniving. Guys are just different. Guys can kick each other between the legs and laugh about it and be fine. That like no issues. Uh, Girls, that's what I'm saying is each gender has, and again, that's all programming. I get that, but um, I think the issue with, and you guys could, you and Devin can answer this better than me, is in a straight relationship, I imagine the difficulty is whereas in a gay relationship, you have people with the same gender, so there you have those same behavior genders, right? But
Mm.
when it's opposites, then you guys got to try to figure each other out, right? Or am I, I'd be interested to get your guys' perspective on the dynamics there because I really don't have any dynamics to report on since I was a teenager and I dated two boys in high school. And I don't think that's anything. We were all teenagers. I don't think that's anything to go off of. So,
Oh man, I will say this. Men are not taught from a very young age, and you can go through the movies and TV and you will see what I'm talking about. They are not trained to attract and keep a woman. They're actually trained to attract other men. If you
oh,
if you really look at it,
yeah,
a boy will go out of their way to impress another boy, even if it's in front of the girl he likes. It is really
mm,
crazy when you look at what is going on and how women are so done. Men were free to cheat, men were free to divorce. Like it's crazy if you look at who destroyed families, and women were to blame too. I'm not saying that, but for the most part, men have been taught how to attract another male. Like I'm strong, I'm protecting, but who do you need to protect us from? Other men. Like are you guys going to hold each other accountable? Like, what's the talk in the locker room? Like, it's kind of crazy because me and the girls are watching Stranger Things through so we
oh,
can
me
watch
too.
season 5. And both girls look at me. Their first question was, did parents really just let their kids run around the neighborhood like that? I'm like, yes,
Yes.
yes, we were. And number two, oh my gosh, that was their viewpoint of women. And I'm like, yes, it is hard for me to watch because that's what I grew up in because I was a kid in the 80s. But if you really like the Ted Wheeler would just fall asleep on the chair and his wife is
Yes.
taking a bubble bath and she's like, Ted, grab the door. And that's how men were like, oh, this is what being a man. I go to work, I come home and I do nothing. Like it's really sad. Nobody ever taught them, and I think Tony Sayers has mentioned this before with the whole tribe thing. Men haven't taught men how to be men in
Right.
relation to women who train other girls. How do we be women?
Absolutely.
And I think we're out of balance all around. I'm not saying women are better. I'm just from my perspective, and I will be very kind and not say anything, but I have suspicions about a lot of men who cheat a lot, who objectify women. They don't love women. They're actually horrible to them, but it's because I think they're secretly gay or they're so mind programmed to impress other men that like being honest, being emotionally full is something so foreign to them. And it's unfortunate because our society taught them that, but none of them, not many of them, want to say, hey, I'm going to do the work on myself. And it's really funny, as a former counselor, it is very rare to have a guy come and do therapy work. It's like almost unheard of in a lot of cases.
I forgot. I keep forgetting you have the therapy background. So
Yeah.
that's really insightful. And um I just want to clarify something, and we all do it to a degree, but
Hmm.
I really, because what you said, people are going to comment, and we welcome that. But my hope is that people always understand you're all adults. Everybody
Yeah.
watching this, hope, I mean, I can't see a kid being interested in this topic, but y'all are grown. So listen to what people are saying. The words doesn't mean that they're right. It doesn't mean that they're wrong. They're presenting information as Jackie's experience per se, and I think she's got a credible one with having an experience and being a counselor with people. But I find that people will find a phrase or a viewpoint and then just not want to listen to anybody anymore because they don't agree with something. And I'm hoping or take the position that, oh, well, Jackie hates men.
And I don't.
And we don't. None of us do. As a matter of fact, there are some amazing men commenting on our podcast that our percentage of how the ratio was really high. More women were watching. Of course, we want men. Like we're all in this.
Hmm.
That's why I wish we could just all get past, quit looking for things to poke holes in.
Yeah.
We don't have to discredit people. We don't have to have. Um, I mean, I'm waiting for somebody to sit there and call me a fat ass gimp in a chair when I say something. So I'm waiting for it to happen because that's what we do as people. We don't, instead of listening and being like, hey, and then if we disagree, just saying, hey, I disagreed with that viewpoint.
Yeah. Agreed.
So I just wanted to put that out there just because so you can actually say your piece that no, nobody hates men on this channel. I mean, Jackie and Devin are both straight women.
Yep.
And like I said, I just know I'm not gay. I don't know what that makes me. Because I'm not, I guess I'm asexual at this point. I'm not into anybody. I don't want to be into anybody. I like having my friends and I'm good with that,
I
so
feel
I
the
don't know what that
same.
makes me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It makes me what, Jackie?
I said it. I feel the same. I'm so turned
Oh,
off by because it's just traps to keep you here. But here, go ahead, Devin,
ex
because you're going to say something.
Oh, yeah, I had a couple things to say. And Jackie, it was that I completely when I was talking about my brother and all, you reminded me of Alex Jones.
Oh my
And
oh,
gosh, he was my favorite to open up like this whole world of conspiracy
yeah,
theories.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. What's so funny when I started looking into like Joe Rogan, I was also looking into him. But that huge conspiracy where he was like, it's in the water turned what was it? The frog's
oh, the
gay.
frog's gay. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I was thinking of, and I was like, haha, but I mean like totally like the plan they have ushering to just confuse uh like completely switching the gender roles, like confusing everyone of their
Hmm.
sexual identity. They don't want anyone being stand and firm. They just want us all like confused, and it's just through um, everything. And then another thing, I just watched a TikTok yesterday, and it was a video. It was like, okay, how to communicate to a man or something, how to get a man to like you. It's not in the way you think. So I was like, okay, what is it saying? And it was saying that men, they won't communicate with words, with empathy through communication. There's a cognitive dissonance between, a male and a female. But the way that you can get a man to, uh, start to like you, or even they were saying to get a man to love you, you have to have him invest in you. You have to have him feel like he's investing in you, like putting value in you, like you're some kind of property. And that will build eventually into like love. And I think there is like truth in it because of the way men have been raised um, to associate, love and that kind of relationship with, well, what have I invested in this?
Mm,
I was thinking that as well. Um,
I agree with that in terms of like the unawakened guy, but I think there's some guys that like
oh yeah,
I can't
totally.
see like I've noticed a lot of men that have this worldview. They see women differently, they see the world differently, and they're not. Now, I don't know what people are doing in their homes and their and in a, but what comes across is a genuine uh, empathy and
Yeah.
concern for what's going on the planet, what's going to happen to them in the afterlife, and um, the unfortunate thing. And how do you get that though? How do you get a Tony Sayers? How do you get a Mike, Martin? How do you get Gates? How do you get Games Dog 3? How do you get the how did they become and break their own mold? Or how come we're not three women trying to, I mean, we could, Jackie could, let's look at how this could go.
Oh
Jackie could be
no.
like, I want to be on this podcast on a regular basis and backstab me to you in email. And you could be swinging that way, being like, yeah, you know what, it would be better to just have you on here. And then
No.
why,
Sounds so
why,
icky.
Yeah.
why aren't we engaged in that? What makes us different? I mean, that's something we should ask ourselves. What makes it, not that we're better, that's not what I'm saying. There's a difference between saying that I'm more aware to not, that it's not even a consideration to engage in such behavior. That's
Yeah.
one thing. That doesn't make you better or worse than anybody else. So I don't want to paint that picture, but I'm curious as to the why. Not that we're better or worse than anybody else, but why with those men? Is it because upon awakening, you guys know I don't mean that word in the new age sense, but being aware, is that somehow, see, wording is just hard. I don't want to use the term elevate because that makes it sound like there's, you know, better or worse, but what gets people out of their, is it just because they're out of the programming that they're not engaging in the behaviors that most people would? Do you guys think that's what's going on?
Yes and no. It's funny when I was a counselor, you had a hodgepodge of clients, and I could tell you who would actually be better. And I would always tell my clients, if you're not different in 3 years, then I'm horrible and you should fire me. Like I, that was like one of my first sentences I would say to them when I met them. But then I could pinpoint who would actually be different if I worked with them, because it's an individual journey. I'm just there to listen. I'm there to validate. Sometimes I'm there to challenge, like, hey, why do you still doing that thing, or let's do something different. But for the most part, that counselor is just a neutral person who doesn't know your story, doesn't know you, and says, hey, how do we make yourself better? But I could pinpoint the ones that actually were going to change and the ones that weren't the moment they came in the door. Were they on time? Were they full of excuses? Like, and it's so crazy because then you can go back to the numerology and the astrology you were born with. Like, this is so hard because it's like this weird, that stupid new age conversation where it's like, oh well, the people who woke up were meant to wake up. And I think there's some truth to that. Like, we each were given certain things, but it was us to take the opportunity in those instances. Like, I think all of us have been like, oh, I saw the moon out during the day. What does that mean? It's supposed to only come out at night. Like, if that's the worldview that you believe, like, I don't care if the world's a globe. I don't care if it's flat. Like, we live in a simulation, in my opinion. It doesn't matter which is true and which is,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? But like, it's those lies that you start questioning. You're like, okay, are you gonna keep going and keep asking the questions? So many people are like, oh, everybody's waking up, but they're like, oh, I'm a flat earther and that's who I am. And I'm like, no, there's so many more things you could investigate, especially Soul Trap. But you can't get to Soul Trap without them starting to understand, hey, everything we've been told is a lie. So it's hard. Like, it takes a lot of tenacity to be like, okay, oh my gosh, I just let go of Christianity. I don't know who I am right now. I feel lost during holidays. Like, it was depressing. But then you're like, okay, no, I'm going to keep going because I know this is right. And I know I commented it on one of your videos. Sometimes dropping the false is the journey, even though you don't know what's exactly true. Because sometimes
Oh,
dropping the
yeah.
false is even harder. You know what I mean? Like, letting go of Christianity was hard. And I can laugh about it now, but like back then you're just like, I don't even know who I am anymore. Like, it was my identity.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
don't you guys think by the fact that we, like you said, I'm a Christian. I mean, supposedly, I don't know if this has any merit or not, but supposedly making the I am before you finish that off is really important. So think about all this. Like I told you what I had to say. I'm stupid, right? Growing up. Or I am a Christian. Aren't we making contracts on the regular? If you think about it, before you even incarnate here, while you're existing in the simulation, are you not? Maybe that's part of it too, that you're trapping yourself and you don't even realize it. I'm a goth. I'm this. I'm that. I'm a doctor. And the funny thing is, a lot of that stuff has cult thinking behind it.
Mm,
Try to talk to a doctor who believes that physical therapy is a waste of time and talk them out of it. You can even present the articles, and they are no more different than going to talk to a Scientologist or a Christian and trying to get them out of their religion.
very
Or
true.
our careers are cults, um, our subcultures within a society, our political parties, they're all cult, they're all hive mind,
Mm,
right? And
yeah.
we're identifying as that thing is, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican, I'm a Scientologist. I mean, do you guys think that has anything to do with where we're consistently identifying, basically invoking stuff all the time by using the I am and associating it with something else?
It's like putting anchors in the physical world.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys, I think too much.
No.
This is what happens when you have way too much time on your hands. Although, well, actually, here lately I haven't because we did two episodes last week and it was Thanksgiving week. And then there was a bunch of emails. And then I'm trying to keep up with the comments because truthfully, Devin, I'm in the disabled, not working category. Devin's got a kid and her grandfather and then a business that she's running. So I just answer the questions and comments and the emails because I just have more time. But that past weekend it got a little hectic. And the
Yeah.
thing that starts happening with the comments is so people are starting to watch our older stuff and I'm trying to keep up with that. So somebody will comment on an older video and then somebody else will comment on that one. And so now we're starting to get so once we probably get a few more episodes in, guys, I may not be able to be, or many more subscribers. I may not be able to be up on it. I will get around to them, but,
I might have to step it up a little bit. Yeah.
oh, and somebody wanted to thank you. Somebody thanked you on the Thanksgiving video. I replied back, but if you want to kind of put your 2 cents, but they thank you for bringing up the freedom
Oh,
because they
okay.
got into it and they got out of it and they're like, yes, Devin, thank you for covering
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about the freedom. Uh, I call them the freedom whackers, but
The-
because they're wackos, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, okay. I will. I will. I know. Okay, so we had a topic today. We had something we wanted to talk about. And of course, we just kind of talked about
Random stuff.
But it's important stuff though, for
of
sure,
course,
I think,
yeah, it
right?
is. Definitely. I feel like it was all really valuable. But I know our topic for today was what's working in our lives, what isn't, things we're currently like implementing. So I would love to hear if either one of y'all wants to speak first or um, on that and just kind of talking about everything currently working and other things you've kind of tossed to the side or not focused on right now.
I'll let you start off, Jackie, if you want.
Oh,
And then
well,
Devin, and I'll go last because I'm trying to sort that out in my head before we get on that.
okay. Well, I remember in my first video, or maybe it was the second one I did, we talked about the manifestation with the money thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I gave that up. That's not even worth putting any more energy into it. However, I actually started to put down energy spaces. Again, if you haven't watched played Super Mario Party on Switch, I made a comment on that Mike Martin video. I was like, oh, we should put out energy traps. And they're like these little circular traps. You could steal a star, steal coins from other players. But I actually been doing that. And I did it around places that I knew were kind of charged,
Mm-hmm.
where I would feel kind of depleted. Like sometimes when I go to the mall with my kids, I get so irritable and so cranky afterwards that in the
Mhm.
middle of the mall, I just put down little traps. And I'm telling you, I feel so much more energized than I
Really?
used to. And I even like every time I'm like, oh man, I'll go through memories and I'm like, oh, I think that person is like took my energy and I'll take my energy back. And then some. Like, I don't know, I've been kind of ruthless when it comes to when I notice something is stealing my energy, I just take it back and then I take a tax on top of it, because if this realm is going to tax us with our income and stuff, I'm taxing it with my energy. Like, you
Mm.
just took my energy on loan, I want that back plus some. So that has actually been really working, and it could just be coincidence, but ever since like August, my energy has been super low, like super tired, just with all the planetary stuff going on. And this week I've been a little bit more tired than normal, but I'm not back down to that lowest level of energy that I was.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Okay. Tell us a little bit more about the traps. How do you
oh,
um
okay. So if I feel, so it's funny. In one of the videos, I think it was the Thanksgiving episode, Angie said something like, oh, I wonder how Jackie's doing that. And I was like, oh, I gotta mention that. So what I envisioned the Nintendo, the Mario Party little trap, it's like a little circle and it's got like little, I don't know, it looks like a plus sign with a circle. And if I find a place where it's a little energy draining or it's supposed to, I'll just put the trap down. And I put parameters around the trap. It is not allowed to take from anyone who is not malicious, who is just in their normal day. It is a trap meant to take from entities or people who are planning to cause harm to someone else. And so I figure I'm preventing crime by taking that person's energy. So I don't know. Maybe I'm like a crime fighter in my little energy trap system.
I love it. I love it.
But
Talk
I'll,
about being a spark in the world, in a dark world. There you
Yeah, making a
go.
difference. Yeah.
yeah, I'll walk around with my dog walking and I'm like, oh, I'm going to lay an energy trap here. Again,
Mhm.
if anybody is neutral or positive or not planning to cause harm, it should do nothing. But it's mainly for the system, the entities and the people that they're using. So,
That's
uh,
awesome. Love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Anything else you want to add to it?
hmm.
Hmm.
Don't be afraid. So I will say this, don't be afraid as you're, again, Tony hates the word meditation, and I don't mind it because that's what I do every morning and every night. But my focus isn't on some, and I think his problem is the close your eyes,
Yeah.
feel tranquil, I'm like, okay, Divine Spark, can I connect with you today? And I try to kind of go so inward. I'm no longer a human being anymore. Like, I
Yep.
try to imagine myself in that. But how do we imagine it? It's really hard. But
Yeah.
as long as I am nothing, I detach myself from the body and from this place, blah, 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 blah. I have a few mantras I say, but like when you're in that space, it's a great time to go back and look at memories. And I'm not one in recapitulation. I I think there's value there, mm, but go back and be like, who was stealing my energy? Past, present, future, different timeline. You could say whatever you want, and then see the person or see the situation, and then take your energy back. Like, who cares if they're a nasty person? That's your energy, like that they took from you. So I think it is a spiritual war where you're in, and don't be afraid to take the offensive.
Agreed.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can talk about some of the things that I'm currently doing, I guess. Um, so one of my big things that I'm doing is I'm still working with my unconscious mind, and I'm trying to be really, really intentional with all of my thoughts. So I have a really bad habit of telling myself that I'm tired. I wake up and I'm like, oh, I'm tired, or I don't want to do this. And I'll start to like feel kind of my energy draining. I'll get on my
Oh,
phone and I'll be
wow.
like, oh, I'm just gonna, scroll for a couple minutes. And then after a couple of minutes, I'll be like, oh, I'm tired. And I'll feel like my energy is just so I'm
See, you're passing it out. The minute you said that, I thought,
yeah.
I'm just like,
Oh no, I'm so sorry. No,
that's
but I've been
crazy.
I'm eliminating that word from my vocabulary, and I'm telling myself that I can rest, I can rest for a couple minutes, I can listen to my body, but I'm not going to let words dictate how my body feels, or I just need to be more present, because those words, they have energy and they have impact. When we say we're tired, or oh, I'm angry, or I have anxiety, our body remembers the emotions attached to those, and it's gonna, we're gonna feel it in our bodies.
Oh, that makes
Um,
sense. Yeah.
so that's what I'm trying to work on, um, that one. And then, um, yeah, I'm trying to break out of my emotions when I'm in them and not let the patterns continue. So, I have my daughter and my granddad, and I can just get, frustrated. Um, so in those moments I can, identify my emotion that I'm feeling, but not let those patterns, those thoughts keep continuing on.
Mm.
Um, and I'm trying to kind of disrupt them with either thought, intention, um, or, breath, a lot of breath. I'm so
That's hard
I
work, Devin. I just want to validate that
Oh,
is so hard and good
Yeah.
job.
oh, thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I'm trying real hard. Uh, Another one, I'm trying to open my unconscious mind up to the possibility of healing, the possibility of placebo, the power of just thought. I have something called like visual snow, so I see a lot of like static.
Mm,
And so I'm trying to see if I can command my unconscious, because there are stories of people, getting cut and they're starting to bleed out, and they go into a kind of a hypnotic state and they command their body to, stop the blood flow from being released from their body. They're able to like save themselves. And then our unconscious, it deals with our um, breathing, our temperature, our digestion, all of that. So I'm trying to command it to heal, my brain, my neuroinflammation, all of that.
can I say
Um,
something to you?
yeah.
Okay, so to any part inside of Devin, I see you. And if you are causing any visual distortion, can you give Devin, either in her dream state or sometime during the day, why you don't want her to see? Like, what are you scared of? And what do you need Devin to do to make you feel safe?
Okay. All
There you
right,
go.
Cardi, you hear that? All right. I'll let you know. I'll let you know what happens.
All right.
Um, yeah, other than that, I am not trying to actively manifest anything, but I am using uh positive expectancy to achieve those things. So it's not manifesting something in particular, but I'm telling myself, I know I will be successful. I deserve to have success. And
Mm,
I think my business has been really, really good lately. I think it's because I'm just I am open to that expectancy.
that's cool.
Yeah. And then I guess I'm still putting protection around my TV, putting protection around my daughter and I.
Mm.
Um, I try to consciously doom scroll now, and try to not let myself get, I guess, too invested or too doom scrolly with it all, but keep it conscious. Um, yeah, and then just slowing down and making more time for connection and um, just kind of, yeah, just more connection with my family. That's what I'm doing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You know, it's really funny when you were talking about I'm tired. I swear, and again, I told Devin I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, and not because it's stories about magic. There's other things I love about the stories, but they put a taboo on Voldemort's name, so they knew where Harry, Hermione, and Ron were. I'm so sorry. I'm such a dork, and it's fine. I embrace it.
No, don't apologize.
But what I can't tell you how many times I hear I'm tired on TikTok. And it's a collective thing. I really think they are trying to exhaust us to the point where we are just going to give up sovereignty to AI or to whatever
Mm.
because we are just so tired. And I think that's so important. And I wanted to highlight that to anyone who's listening. Like, be very mindful because I caught myself doing it too. Like, oh, I'm so tired of this. And again, like, seriously, if life is still like this in a year, I will probably lose my mind a little bit. But like, it is so crazy how draining this place is right now. So I think that was huge, Devin. Like, that is such an important thing, is to watch how many times you say you're tired. Because I really think there's a taboo on it. Like, if you look at how many TikTok videos are made and they're like, I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm tired. And you start to feel tired, but then you start to echo it and you start to feel tired. So that was
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
thank you. Thank you.
I
Our words,
agree.
they carry so much, They
Well, there's spells. We all know
yeah,
that. They're,
yeah, yeah.
really are.
Yeah, when you said that, I was remembering all the other times I've seen other people as well, like the collective tiredness. You're so right about that. It's not just me, like we're being put through so much.
Yeah, we are. Every day there's something else. You're like, okay,
Yeah.
can we just
Like,
get
a computer's a virgin.
for real? How about you, Angie? What are you working on?
Well, I've been diving into like a lot of Mark Devlin stuff because I was big into music. I mean, that was, you know, uh
His
my
God series is so good.
yeah, it really is. And then his but all of the stuff that he covered about the artist, and it's like, really,
Mm,
really, you're like, you want to hope that there's, but you're like, no, they got big. If you're getting that big, you didn't just do that by accident. It's kind of like the tech people. They like to tell you these stories of, well, they came from nothing. Yeah, and they also came from trauma. And because of the trauma, they were easily mind controlled to do what they do and influence their stuff. And God knows what they're doing behind the scenes. So, but what, I mean, aside from that aspect of it, the social engineering, I'm just like, that is so exactly what's going on when we die.
yeah.
That's got to be the same deception stuff. It's real easy to fall into it because you're not aware of what you're doing. And that's where I think it's when people talk about, I'm even more convinced now. I may get pushback on this, but I'm getting to the point where I don't give a fuck about that either. I'm not telling anybody, don't believe what I have to say. You have your own agency, but I'm more convinced than ever. It's not about you. I think you said this, Jackie. So Devin has her thing of how right now at this moment in time, how she thinks she's going to get out of here, right? Mike
Mhm.
has his, Tony has his, Jackie, you have yours, I have mine. But what we all have in common is one thing, awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think once you have the awareness and you're questioning everything, you're not going to be, you'll be, if you avoid the light altogether, avoid the whole trap altogether, great, you're out. But if you get
Mm,
hit with something, it's going to be that whole, no, I'm not doing what you tell me. And I'm getting more and more in my understanding as and Mark Devlin's work is really helping me come to those conclusions about a lot of this is awareness, uh, at the time of death. And he's not even wording the music stuff he covers in music. He's not even delving into that subject. It's all about what's going on here.
Mm.
So I've been really diving deep into his stuff, and then um, unfortunately, from my reporting of the intention that we set. Now we're not making more money, but it is working for us in that our expenses actually went up after our move by like $400 a month. And somehow we would never have much. We'd be lucky if we had $100 to $200 left. And now we're sitting on, at least $1,000, which is,
Wow.
and I'm like, I told Michelle, I go, I don't understand. And then I pointed like how this is happening. And then I pointed out to Devin that way back before we even started this podcast, before we even talked about doing it together, I told her I wanted to have a podcast. And this is under hypnosis, by the way. Wasn't I under already, Devin?
Yeah. Yeah, you're future you were visualizing yourself in the future.
Yeah. And so I said, well, I have a podcast. And she goes, and then like further on, it was like, well, where do you see it going? Or how do you see things in your life? And I was like, well, the podcast will be doing really well. And really, I want to say by maybe close to September, and probably in part because I wasn't feeling well, but I kind of started like thinking, I don't know, we're not really picking up much people. Why are we even doing this? Um, and I found out why I wasn't feeling well in October, but it was a combination of factors. And then all of a sudden I pointed that out to Evan. I go, remember when I said that before we even did this, that I wanted the podcast to take off and get information out to people. So my reporting on the manifestation thing, I didn't even intend that as a manifest thing, but those two things are going hand in hand where we have money left over and the podcast is getting more people, which I'm really grateful for people watching us. Because half the time I don't, this is why we like having you on. You're familiar with a lot more of the names and a lot more of whereas Devin's got a year and I'm really, really new on this, but I'm diving in, because I think this is the most important thing. This life doesn't matter. I mean, I remember when the staff at the hospital had said, yeah, you were close. You were probably days within your organs shutting down. And I literally smiled at him and I go, and the bad thing to that would be, but
Right.
and they kind of looked at me and they were like, and then of course this, right? Anybody in the professional health field, especially like a counselor, the next question is, are you interested in
Suicide.
self-harming?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I was like, it's just look at me, look at what I'm going through. And I go, and look around at the world. Why do you want to be here? Have you asked yourself, I go, I'm just curious, have you ever asked yourself that? So, um, that's the other thing too. I'm working on not being attached to the body because this isn't my body.
Nope.
I
It's
don't
just,
have a body,
yeah.
right? So the attachment to this, I'm even getting to the point where I told Michelle that we were talking about Neuralink today, like the Neuralink, and they according to them, they've got chips out there that they could put that in my head and nanobots that can go in and repair your nerves and make me better. And I told Michelle, I I'm not doing it. I
Mm.
will stay gimped the way that I am, which isn't great. Let me tell y'all, sucks. But I would rather stay the way that I am before I ever do that. And I'm serious. And I told her, I was like, I don't even care anymore. I used to be focused on, well, will this help me or heal me? And I use some of the stuff that Devin's talked about, and we're going to be doing she's going into another branch of hypnotherapy. Again,
Okay.
nothing which she could explain here in a minute, but nothing that's going to get people into weird stuff or anything like that, but more like dealing with the subconscious. And if it works great, but I'm not fixated. For the last 5 years, I've been fixated on, well, that's how I got into doing plant-based medicine. I was so fixated and
Mm.
ketamine. I put that stuff in my body because I'm so obsessed with, and now I don't care. It's
Yeah.
not my body. It either gets well or it doesn't.
Mm.
Um, and so so that's something I'm working on as far as just like, it's not your body. Get that through your, who you are at your core, your spark. You're not this thing. You're not this mind. You're not the voice coming out of your head. You're not your thoughts. And so those components of, just a report on the manifestation saying that in a weird way it is kind of working, and the Mark Devlin, and then this whole detachment from, I mean, really, uh, I hate to say this, but even looking around, like I want all of us to get out. That's my goal, but every person has to make that decision for themselves, right? You can't save other people. They have to save themselves. So I look around and I'm like, can I leave everybody here? The answer is yes. Do I want to? No. I want to take everybody with me. But the real question we all have to answer on our own is, can I just go and be okay with that? The answer is yes. It may not feel good, but again, you don't want that being used against you either. So there's a lot that we get that you really got to look at in terms of that alone.
Mm.
Is there something here that's going to keep you here because you can't let it go? And one of my big ones was not only the people in my life, but also that idea that if we just did enough, or if we could fix the world, why does the world have to be this way? And I gotta, like, I've completely let that go. Do the
Yeah.
best we can and be supportive of each other and helpful when we can. But
Yeah.
none of it, it's not meant to be. If it was meant to be fixed, they're not eating. It's like this by design. So therefore that's got to be let go too. So that's all I'm working on right now.
You said something really poignant that I know for myself that has kids under 18. I have an older one who I was shushing to before. If you're like, oh, what was she doing? I was like, my oldest one was coming in trying to talk to me. And I'm like,
Uh,
like, um, if you have a kid under 18, and again, I don't know if this is going to work, but this is where my heart is at. If this place, I'm using their legalese against them, if this place does not designate a child their own individual until they're 18, then if I leave, I'm taking my youngest kid with me. You know what I mean? And to me, I believe we go back to the original virtual, remember, and then we leave. But again, everybody has their own thing. And if they're not ready to leave that original virtual, it's a lot better than it is right here. So, or even if they can come back with, you know what I mean? If I know there was so much when I started getting into Soul Trap. Oh, if you're a parent, you created too much bad karma, you're going to be stuck here. And I felt for it for a little bit, but I was like, that makes no sense. It was actually my kids who helped me wake up to myself. And so, which started the journey. So, to anyone who has kids under 18, you can claim it's their legalese. It's not yours. It's their legalese and say, hey, if I'm leaving, I'm taking my child with me because
hmm.
that is the legal age. You said that they're not allowed to make their own medical decisions. They're not allowed to have jobs and live on their own without special permission. So I'm going to use that against you. My youngest is coming with me. She gets to choose wherever we get to. She gets to choose whether she wants to stay in this realm, leave this realm, but we're exiting out of the AI insanity because no, like,
That'd be a good thing to do for pets too. I didn't even think of that
yeah,
because you take on that same thing. You're
yep,
responsible for them. So,
exactly,
Mm.
I mean, if
exactly,
your dog or your cat scratches somebody, you get sued for that
yep,
because you own the
Yeah,
right. You're legally.
yeah.
My dog bites somebody, so we could do the same thing, Devin, with everybody. With possible. I mean, it's
Yeah.
why not? Why not try it, right?
this just popped into my head. If you have like elderly parents or even parents in dementia, there were articles coming out from that whole Oprah, like people like not talking to their parents anymore. I forgot what the term is. Shoot, I
Yeah.
don't remember. But there was a legal argument, and I forget, it was the New York Times or it might have been the Wall Street Journal or something that said, are you legally responsible to pay for your parents' aftercare?
Mm.
Oh,
And so, if you're legally responsible for your parents, you could also make the argument that you can, hey, if I leave, I'm taking them with me. Like, I don't know if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but
right.
I'm
you're
my I'm my granddad's power of attorney. Like,
oh, there you go.
yeah, and it's like a written contract, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
I have his consent too. Like, oh, I didn't think about that. So I've been so worried about him. Like, I don't want to
right?
come back. Yeah. Dang. Oh my gosh. I love you. I love
God,
you.
you're welcome. Well,
I love
Angie
you
brought it up,
both.
and I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, see, that's this is why I wanted to do, or I was hoping that we could have discussions like this and have more people that make comment like Jackie, like, just not that I'm saying that Tony's not normal. I'm not saying that, but I mean people whose names aren't out there. We're familiar with their work, right? We're familiar with their tools and their suggestions, and they're great. But you also having the perspective of other people that don't have books out is my hope that we get more people who listen, because we've had some people. um there's more to his handle, but it's Darren. He's got some really Gabe's, like I said, Games Dog, all these people, um you know have amazing. So there's somebody else called Silver Soul. Jackie, you comment on our videos a lot, and we get, this is how you get there.
yeah.
Is, I just think that that's something. um oh, so Devin's gonna have to take off here pretty quick.
Sorry.
um
The discussion was so good. I like interrupt it to tell y'all
oh
that,
no.
but yeah.
No,
Well, we've almost been going for 2 hours, but I just wanted to finish off with that. Like, that was my whole hope when we did this, is that we would get more people to get more perspectives, because this is how you come up with things that we could use to our advantage, that might and in fact get more souls out of here, right?
yeah, I'm claiming it. Like, I'm taking my kids with me. Like, I'm sorry. If I'm responsible for them, I'm responsible for all of them.
Exactly. No, I like it. What about you, Devin?
Yes, 100%. I didn't think of it like that, but yeah. Yeah. It's true too.
Well,
Like,
do you know that your screen's not on?
yes, I'm making coffee right now.
Oh, okay. Got you. Okay. But you were saying, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I'd never like thought of that. Like, legally speaking, we're in the right to you know, have that power of choice with them.
That's right.
I love that. Yeah, yeah.
That's right.
Well,
Well,
I don't know about you guys, but uh since Devin's got to go soon, are you guys ready for a wrap up?
Yeah.
sure, sure. Do y'all have any closing final notes for today's episode?
Hmm. You know,
Don't believe in the new computer messiah.
for real. You know, it is so hard to want to get up and do the same thing over and over. It is so hard to know the truth. It is so hard to be awake in this place. But just know that they want us to be tired. And every day, just stay present and just, even if you have to put a little sticky on your mirror in your bathroom, like, I am sovereign, I am leaving at the first opportunity, and I'm taking, my daughter with me, or and my dog with me, like, whatever. But just always reframing in your mind, because this is the distraction, this is the illusion. And so stay focused, because it is a war. It's a war for you to stay here recycling back. And we don't want that. I don't want that for you. I don't want that for myself. And I don't want that for Devin and Angie either. So, let's keep each other accountable for staying present and constantly reminding ourselves that like Angie said before, I am not this body. I am not, this is not real. Like I am a sovereign being. Whatever you want to say about yourself, do those things and keep focused. And, this place is going to get even crazier as it goes on, but stay true to who you are.
I think that's great. I really do. I couldn't have said it any better.
Yeah, I think that was beautifully said. Beautifully said. Yeah.
My
Well,
closing,
I think we should end it on that. What do you think?
I
yeah, I
like
think
it.
so too. I was going to say my only closing thought would be don't pedal loose.
I don't have a
Don't.
closing thought yet. I need to think of one. I just say bye.
Ta-ta! And Princess Wave,
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. Well then, bye y'all. We'll see y'all next week.
And